Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Gordon. I'm the Director of Strategic Initiatives here at Healthy Minds Innovations. And today we're bringing you another episode of We Hear You, where we take reviews from community members just like you. We read them aloud and just speak to them a little bit, provide a little bit of commentary. So today we're going to be focusing on Healthy Minds Text, which is a new initiative that we've launched. You can find it on our website, and it's a free 7-day program that sends you messages once a day to your phone, basically telling you these little moments of hope, these little moments of practice, these moments of optimism, and ways to reorient yourself through the day. So let's dive in. This is from an anonymous community member that said, I felt extremely lonely, and there was a specific text that talked about feeling lonely. I felt as if it was only for me and made me feel comforted and find a silver lining. It was what I needed to hear. Thank you so much to whoever wrote this. You are not alone. In fact, that's how the text starts. It says, you are not alone. We all feel lonely sometimes. According to the former Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy, in his report, we are experiencing an epidemic of loneliness. 39% of adults don't feel emotionally close to others. 39%. That means out of 5 people, only 3 of them feel emotionally close to others. So if you're feeling like one of those 2, you are not alone. And it can make such a huge difference just to reach out to somebody, whether that's a text message, maybe a phone call, maybe just walking down the street and saying hello to your neighbor. Those little moments of human to human connection can make such a huge difference. So thank you to whoever wrote that. Okay, the next one is from Dorothy. She said, Healthy Minds text experience reminded me about the good in the world and in myself. Dorothy, what a great message. I mean, this is so much of the work we do at Healthy Minds is really remembering and helping people develop the skill of cultivating that recognition of our own fundamental goodness. And once we start to see that in ourselves, we start to see it in the world around us as well. So I love how they wrote that. Appreciating our fundamental goodness, it's so simple and it can be done so quickly, but it makes such a profound difference. For me, it's about waking up in the morning and I immediately write down 3 things that I'm grateful for, and then when I sit down for a meal, I try and think, how many people made this possible? All the people who shipped this food, who grew this food, who grew the people who grew this food, right? Who parent those people. It can mushroom out very, very quickly. And what I find is that all of a sudden then whatever I'm experiencing in my day is just easier to relate to. And of course, we're not talking about toxic positivity here, right? Where this is a realistic, skillful engagement with the world. I think for myself, recently I had an interaction with somebody where they just started yelling at me. I had no idea why, but they just came at me and started really, really being super upset. And for some reason, maybe it was these practices, I had a moment of remembering their fundamental goodness. Behind all the rage, there was a good, kind person in there. And what that allowed me to do was not take what they were saying personally. I maintained my boundaries because I wanted to make sure that we were all safe, everything was okay. But I didn't take it personally. And then all of a sudden I could see that it wasn't so much anger as sadness. And we were able to de-escalate the situation, and I talked to the person a little bit more, and all of a sudden I realized they were actually going through a lot. They had a recent death in their family and were dealing with financial troubles, and they were honestly just really scared and sad. And they were taking that out, right? Now, had I not remembered that they were a fundamentally good person, that could have escalated into who knows what. But thankfully, I had that little shift of perspective, and that's exactly what the Healthy Minds texts are made to do. So thank you, Dorothy. Okay, next one up is from Mary. She said, your messages seem to fit my day perfectly, and the message length is just right. It's a fun pick-me-up. Great to hear it, Mary. Again, these are designed to be little reminders to sit in the back of your mind and brighten up your day. we often say that the most important practice is the one you actually do. That's what Richie loves to say. And with these, it's not that you have to formally sit every single day for 20, 30, an hour, a long time. Sometimes it's just about that reorienting of perspective, which can happen in 160 characters or less. So again, it doesn't need to be a full formal practice. Sometimes those just short moments sprinkled throughout the day can make a huge, huge difference. Okay. Next one, also anonymous, says, I was able to have a mental reset when I received the text. It allowed me to recall the Healthy Minds app meditation I did earlier that day. Ah, wonderful. Again, it's all about consistency. I, for instance, practice every morning. I sit on my cushion. But I really feel that the true meditative practice doesn't come until 2 hours later when I open up my inbox, right? Or I try and have that difficult conversation with a family member or a coworker. And all of a sudden now I really have to tap into a place of spaciousness, a place of compassion, a place of awareness and connection. And I think that that's what it's really about, right? It's not just the formal practice that's really helpful, but it's remembering that. In fact, the original Pali, which is one of an ancient language of Buddhist meditation, the word for mindfulness is sati, which can be translated to remember, right? We are remembering to practice. To make it more contemporary, I love the Bruce Lee quote, right? Under duress, we do not rise to the level of our expectations, but we fall to the level of our training, right? We remember our training. And that's really what Healthy Minds texts do. They're all about gently training your mind in these short moments of hope rooted in science. Again, just little moments of practice sprinkled throughout your day. So thank you to whoever wrote that. Okay, last one is from Justin. And he said, I found being notified about something positive instead of something neutral or negative as an interruption was most valuable about the experience. That's great, Justin. And it really speaks a lot to what a moment of positivity can do for us. Our minds, our brains are really wired to detect danger, right? It kept our ancestors alive in the jungles and the deserts where the slightest snap of a twig could mean serious, serious danger. But our lives look very, very different now, although our biology hasn't changed that much, right? Our brains are still scanning for those threats. So what we are practicing with this positive orientation is completely transformative, right? Simply shifting our perspective, again, can make a very, very big difference. I'll give a quick personal example. So many lifetimes ago, I was a teacher. That's what I thought I was going to be for a very, very long time. And I was teaching at this school, and I really, really wanted to be the best teacher possible. And I looked up to this one guy, Camilo Mosquera, and I wanted to be just like him. So I took myself very seriously, right? I wanted to be the best. I spent so much time every night lesson planning, and I worried a lot about what I was teaching the kids, and I tried to grade with surgical precision. And what that felt like was a lot of contraction, right? A lot of stiffness. And what it looked like on the outside was me like hunched over my desk with this scowl on my face, desperate to get it right. And one day I remember I had this big stack of papers, and I'm grading and I'm trying to do it right. And Camilo walks over and just pushes all the notebooks off my desk. They go all over the floor. And I look up with so much rage, and he just has this gentle smile on his face. And immediately we both started bursting out laughing. Everybody in the room just started laughing. And I looked at him and I said, "Why did you do that?" And he just said, "Relax." One word. And that short positive interruption completely changed my day. I went back to grading, and I was excited to read what the students were writing. It wasn't just trying to get it right. I was actually engaged. And again, I think that that's what these Healthy Minds texts are trying to do. Just provide those small moments of joy, of hope, of positive orientation to your day to help you shift your perspective just a little bit. So that's all we have for today. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope that you keep practicing. Have a wonderful day.